Hi, how are you? Today we are going to still look into the Torah portion, Mattot Massei. Today we are going to talk about some of the strength, strengthen Israel, because we talked about the Mattot Massei is again about the strength one, the strengthened one, and also the movable one, the moving one, right? So we'll talk about the strength, like how the Israel can strengthen himself. But before that, I wanted to tell you one thing. I've been uh, doing this one for a long time, and most of the time I get to speak only the late nights. I'm so tired, and you can see my eyes are kind of, going into sleepy mood. And I'm trying to post something like more professional and more good one, but I could not able to do it because every time when I record this, it's kind of a late time. But still, I'm doing it. It's just not for that I don't have any other things to do, but I have the passion to let this information to go out everyone so that you can start thinking. And in future, it will definitely help you out. And one day you will see whatever that you learn here, who um, you know things from here will help you, will become handy, and that day you will be definitely appreciating me on the day. So that's the only one purpose of me and doing this one. So let's get back to this one. Recently, you might have heard about this one, or you might have not. But if you love Israel, definitely you would have been watching the 70th Independence Day live march, Life of the Nations, March of the Nations was conducted in the city of Jerusalem. Folks, the history is turning back. The history is changing now. It is on a new pace of its own. Never ever before. See, Jerusalem has been declared as the capital of Israel for the first time ever. And U.S. embassy is moved to Jerusalem. And you also might have seen almost 52 Palestinians were killed during the fight on that day, May 14th, because of there were a lot of riots and a lot of agitations were going on there. But why I'm telling this one? Because there are changes happening in this world right now, especially in the Israel. Especially it's going to be affecting all the Christian communities. There will be a more new revival thing. There's a more new way of revival throughout the Christian community is going to pop up. There will be a lot of wars are going to be conducted. There will be a lot of persecution. So many things are going to happen. On that day, they had the fantastic meeting in Jerusalem. If you have watched, I sent a lot of people the live link. If you guys have watched those live link, and you will say definitely, you will enjoy that one because a lot of messages, a lot of prophecies were told on that day. Folks, it's not easy. It's coming up. It is coming up, and it is very closer. We are getting very closer to closer. It is now for us than ever, never before that we must read the Bible the way it should be read and the way it should be understood. It's not that there is no time left for us. We cannot sit and stay in one stage for a long time, not improving ourselves, not only in the theoretical way of learning the Bible, but the practical way of implementing the words of God. We are lacking on that one. So I encourage you to go and study and learn things up and try to change your path because the days are near. See, the Jewish people were one of the God's chosen people. He loved, that is his tribe, his people there. But God punished them. God put them into so much of the adversaries in several ways possible. And he basically tortured them, punished them like anything. How could God can do this? No other generation in the world, no other generation, whatever the generation may be, no other generation in this world had been through like the Jewish nation went through. No one else, for period. See, since the day, that's why in Jeremiah, that's a topic today. In Jeremiah 2, if you go and read prophecy, Jeremiah chapter 2, he says, he actually literally is fighting with the Jewish people, Jewish nation, and he is asking questions. I brought you out of the Egypt. I walked you out in the barren field or barren land, the desert land, and I made you to cross the Red Sea. How come you forget me? Why you did not call for me? How come you went and started worshiping in idol worshiping? And how you forget me? And how you are doing the things on your own? The same question still exists in the world. How come we forget the God, the one who created us, the one who walked us through in our life? So we are in a place where we are just, totally away from godliness, and making this world, making our ways into our own methods and own ideas and own ideologies. So we must turn back and see, like the Jewish people were going through. It was a really tough time for this one. There are several events were happening in those days, and those are called the festivals of God. Every event when they celebrate, it is not for them to just to celebrate. It is their passion. They must remember. That's why these events were given to them. Like the Passover festival. Recently we did this one during the month of March. What is the Passover? Passover is nothing but the getting out of the Egypt. It is not only eating the matzah bread or drinking the wine or eating the other stuff. And by the way, next time when I visit India, if you happen to be in my church, Sananapuram Bethel Church, definitely you will get to experience the matzah bread. I'm going to bring it. I'm going to give it to each and every individual back in my church next time when I visit. I prepared for it because that matzah bread is a special bread which has got the stripes in it, which has the holes in it, and it is burnt, and it is also unleavened bread, which reminds exactly about the Jesus Christ. So I will definitely, I'm going to bring those bread to my church people, and probably they will be enjoying that. Well, anyway, why the Passover thing is not just eating of those bread. It is about the passion you have to your God, and realize the fact that it is the liberation from the slavery. It is the spiritual liberation from the slavery. You are getting out of your slave, and slavery that should be felt. They didn't even knew where they were going, where they were heading to, because they were going through the ocean, they were going through the sea, and they were getting out in the desert land. No preparation, nothing. How they're going to live in a desert land? No human can live in a human land, in desert land. It is highly impossible to live in a desert. But God made them to live 40 years. 40 years, folks. He provided the manna. He provided the water. Everything they needed to live in there. That's what God is telling us to do today also. God, He will take you in the places where that we would never even imagine. It might be a dry land. There is no help in that one. You may not be having a chance to breathe the oxygen in that place. You may not be having a water in that place, but God is the one who will provide you there and who will walk you through that one. Today He is giving us the same promise, same thing that He would walk, but regardless, provided that we must remember Him, we must follow Him, we must observe what He asked us to observe. That's the point about this one, The whole, and there are three things I think I want to talk about this one in this lecture today. Because the first one, oh my goodness, there's a lot of things here. Okay, and then once you cross the Passover, after the 7 weeks, you have the Shavuot. Shavuot is the festival they celebrate giving the Torah to Moses. In fact, this week, Saturday, we are celebrating the festival of Shavuot. Shavuot is a festival where the commandments are read, the commandments are given to Moses on the Mount Sinai. Folks, We are receiving the command. So whenever we celebrate this festival, we must see and feel that as if we are receiving it today. We are receiving it now, and we are seeing that that's how the feeling should be. That's how the passion should be. That's what God wants us to remind us these things. That's why these events are being celebrated. After that, we have the Hanukkah. Hanukkah is again, what is Hanukkah? Hanukkah is lighting the menorah, kindling the menorah. Whenever we light the menorah, whenever we lit the menorah, what happens is that it gives our faith is fortified. I mean, our faith is kind of more strengthened. It gets more power. It's fortified, and then it's kind of what I can say. It gives a more energy to us, to walk in His Word. When whatever the darkness we walk through, but we must remember there is a menorah, the light in us, which will make us to walk through the darknesses. This is another event. This is another festival they celebrate. And then you have the Shabbat. Shabbat is 6 days you work, and 7th day you celebrate. The 7th day celebration is, people have this Sunday, I don't care about Sunday or whatever it is. The Sunday even, or 8th day or 7th day, but the end of your 6 days, the 7th day, whole day belongs to God. The 24 hours belongs to God, not 1 hour in the church. See, the totally wrong concept of what we're doing. The total 24 hours belongs to Him. You cannot steal those hours from Him and sell it for something. Do your own thing. You cannot do that one. That's what He expects from us, folks. These are very serious issues that we are missing in our life. These are things these are the festivals basically God gave to those people. So we have to follow these things. Jeremiah too, Jeremiah asked them in a very, very open way, how come you can forget? How come you can say that how come you are not defiled? In Israel, there is a place called a valley. In that valley, the valley is not been sold yet. The real estate business in Israel is peaking now. But except that valley, no one would want to buy the valley, because in that place, some years back, thousands of years back, Jewish people were killing their own kids and offering to the idols. It's still there. So you cannot say that I'm not defiled. You are defiled. We do have, likewise, in our hearts, there are a lot of valleys filled with all the dirts and all the sins. We are compromised with those things. We don't want to let it outside the world see those things. So those valleys are still, and you cannot come and say, when you wear a white dress and white pant, I am, I don't have any defile. I'm not defiled. You cannot say that. God knew that what is in you. That's what God is pointing out today. Jeremiah is pointing out today. There are three things the world has been divided. The one is Olam, second is Shana, and third is Nephesh. Olam is a space. That we have a good place and bad places in this world, and then Shana is a time. The years, the time. They are the change, the constant change of time brings the good times for us. And the soul, the nephesh is the soul. But the time and soul will be so meaningful only if the soul is there. We celebrate the New Year, the Rosh Hashanah. But what is the New Year? Is it the first day of creation, second day of creation, third day of creation? Which is the New Year? The sixth day of creation. Because why? Because that day was the one soul was created. See, if the soul is not there in this world, there is no meaning of the time and the space in this world. The soul is very important to connect these things. The soul is the one that we can enjoy. That's what God was telling to us. There are three miracles. Getting out the miracle of Egypt, the miracle of Red Sea, and the miracle of the desert land. The desert land, where the land is, godliness is not there, where there is no soul. When they walked through the Egypt, when they walked through the waters, God was there. There was a garden, there was a soul in there. But when they walked through the desert land, there is no human being, there is no godliness. In spite of that, God walked us through the desert land, giving all us the water and the manna. Today, He is asking the same thing for the Jewish people and for us. Return back, come back, strengthen your soul, strengthen your heart. This is the time, this is about time. We must go back and celebrate all the Garish festivals and make a meaningful passionful for the God, because it is going to change the world right now. We are in a time period that we are going to change the world.